Yeah. Morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes. Fine. Thank you. So today I discuss about entering into this technicals of Python, right? Basics of Python. Data types and variables. Data types or variables. Every organization use case has got data and operations, has got data and operations. Data represented using data represented, right? Data types or variables. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented using functions. Data represented using data types or variables. Operations using functions. Okay. So every organization, for example, take the example of a bank. Bank has got data and operations. What is data? Like customer data, customer account number, customer name, balance, branch, customer data. They are represented using data types or variables. Operations, deposit operation, withdraw operation, transfer operation. They are represented using functions. Functions we'll be discussing later. Now our concept is like data types or variables. Okay. If we compare the data types with C, C++, Java, if you talk about C or C++ or Java comparison with Python, right? Yes. Data types comparison of C, C++, Java with Python. So Python supports dynamic data types. It supports what? Dynamic data types. What do you mean by dynamic data types? Okay. Before that, if you want to define a variable here in C, C++ or Java, right? If you say like x has 10, compulsory you need to define like data type int, right? Without this data type defining, variable can't be created. Y equal to 4.5. Float I need to say. Z equal to hello. String I need to say. But in Python, directly I can say x has 10. Directly I can say y has 4.5. Z as hello, right? No need to say int or float or string here. In Python, no need to say int or float or string. What kind of variable x is means based on the data type defining, you are saying it as integer. What kind of variable y is like? It's float type. Z is what? String type. But what kind of variable x is here means what value you are assigning to it. What value you are assigning to it. Okay. Okay, just observe. If you are assigning a integer value, then integer variable is created. So here x value is 10. As you are assigning a integer value to x, integer variable is created dynamically during runtime. In Python, there is a function called type. Type of x is what? Int type. Why it is integer means you have assigned a integer value. Here you are assigning a float value to y. Type of y is what type? Float type. Why it is float? Because you have assigned a float value to it. Type of z is what type? string type. Why? Because you assigned a string value to. Based upon what value you are assigning, the variables are created dynamically, right, during runtime. If you're assigning an integer value, integer variable gets created. If you're assigning a float value, float variable gets created. Okay. To make you understand much better on these data types or variables, right? I'll discuss 4 cases now. Observe this case 1. Defining a variable, right? Yes. If you define a variable, what happens internally? If you say x equal to 10, internally one object gets created with value 10 with some address, right? The address given to x. What x is storing? Don't say x is storing 10. X stores the address. X stores what? The address. So here 3 things you need to understand. X stores the address, I'm saying. 3 things means like print x. It prints the content at 10, prints the content at that address. Prints the content at that address. What is that content at that address? 10. It goes to this address and prints whatever present at that address. Print, I want to print the address itself. Print, there is a function in Python, id of x, prints the address of x. Address of x is 103070, right? Type of x. Okay. Type of x means prints the data type of x. What type? Integer type. Okay, print x prints the content. ID of x prints the address. Type of x prints the data type. You need to understand internally one object creates. The object occupies some physical address, physical memory location address. The address is given to. Yes. Now, prints the content that is 10. Address type. Now see this case 2, right? Case 2. If I'm creating 2 variables, x equal to 10, y equal to 20. Try to answer, right? Now, everyone, from today onwards, like I want the sessions to be interactive, right? Keep on responding, right? Everyone, whether the answer is correct or wrong, you can unmute yourself and you can provide the answers. Otherwise, you can also type your answers in the chat. So here, how many objects will be created? Everyone.
2.
2 objects. Yes, 2 objects, right? For 10, 1 object will be created with value 103070. For 20 also, 1 object gets created with some. This address is given to x. This address is given to y. Try to answer what is print x. Everyone, try to answer what is print x.
10.
10. ID of x, the address. 103070. Type of x.
10.
What you have assigned? Integer value, right?
Integer.
Print y. What is the value?
20. 1007.
4070, right? And type of file. Type of file.
English.
Sir, how you know that ID is
This ID I randomly have taken, but generally what is in memory, the address, right? Where it is stored exactly, that address it prints.
okay? Thank
Okay. So two different variables X and Y with two different values 10, 20, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. Two different variables with two different values 10, 20, two different objects with two different addresses. This is case 2. Now observe this case 3, right? Yes. Case 3. Try to answer. X value is 10. Y. How many objects created, right? Everyone.
you.
One.
Two.
How many objects?
One object.
Yes, everyone try to answer.
One object.
Here, one object. X equal to 10. X equal to 10, only one object created here with only one address. Observe here. This address is given to this X, right? Yes. Before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10 is already available in the memory. If available, the same address will be given to this. If not available, it creates a new object. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Don't think that three objects will be created. Okay. X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. Only one object. Don't think like three objects with value 10, 10, 10 will be created. Only one object. Its address is given to X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content 10. They are sharing the same address, right? Yes. So can I say like print X equal to print Y equal to print Z equal to 10, right? Address of X. Print address of Z. Type of X. Print type of Y. Type of Z. All are same. What type? Integer type. So print X, print Y, print Z is 10. Print address of X, Y, and Z are same. Type also same, right? But if I say X is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30, how many objects?
Three.
Three objects, right? Means
Three.
if values are same, one object. If values are different, multiple objects. Now observe this case 4. I'll show you all these 4 cases practically, right? X is 10, X is 10, and the X is 20. How many objects here, everyone?
Two.
Two.
For 10, one object. For 20 another object. How many objects will be created?
Two objects.
Two addresses. Now up to 8 is fine, right? Print X. What is X value? It will print a 10 or 20 or both. What is the answer?
10.
20.
No, 10.
Okay.
Which is the latest value assigned?
So X, your salary last year 50,000. Your salary this year 80,000. Print a salary means what it prints?
80.
80, right? Same way X value was 10 previously. X value is 20 now. It prints the latest value.
Okay.
Print address of X 104080. What happens to this object 10? Is it available, not available? If it is available, how can we print its value? If we say print X, the second time also it prints 20 only. Third time also it prints 20 only. 10 times also it prints 20 only. Yes. So what happens to the previous object? Anyone? What happens to this object 10? Available, not available? Right. So to understand about this,
If we can assign the same value to any other variable.
so to understand what happens to the previous object, I'll be discussing a small concept, right? So it's too early to discuss that, right? Garbage collector. But later I discuss in brief with multiple examples. Just I'll give overview as of now.
Sir, if you take X plus print X plus X means what we get? Sir?
X plus X means 40 you get.
40.
40 we get. Okay.
I'll go back to this case 3 to explain this, what happens to this one. Case 3. No, not check it. There is a concept called garbage collector. Garbage collector removes unused or unreferred objects. It removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. Removes unused or unreferred objects from the memory. Which one? Garbage collector. What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects? Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then we call them as unused or unreferred objects. These objects whose reference count becomes 0, these objects are immediately removed. Then these objects are immediately removed by garbage collector. From the memory. Automatically, right? Yes. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, these objects are immediately removed by garbage collector from the memory automatically. Okay. You may ask, what do you mean by reference count becoming 0? What is that reference count becomes 0, right? Yes. What is reference count and how it becomes 0? Number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables pointing to an object. Number of variables storing address of an object. Yes. Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address of an object will give the reference count. Now observe here to understand this. How many variables are pointing to object 10? What is the reference count? X is pointing, Y is pointing, Z is pointing. Reference count is what? 3. Reference count is what? 3. That's fine. X is storing this object address, Y is storing this object address, Z also storing it. So reference count is 3. Observe here, slowly I modified the Y value to 20. Slowly I modified the Y value to 20, right? Yes. A new object 20 is created with some address. Now Y is pointing to the new object. Y is made to point to the new object. Y is not pointing to this. What is the reference count now? So only X and Z are pointing to this object 10. Y is made to point to a new object. Slowly I am modifying Z to 30. Means a new object is created with value 30 with some new address. This address is given to Z. Means Z is pointing to the new object. Z is not pointing to this. Z is not pointing to this object 10 now. Z is made to point to the new object. What is the reference count now?
1.
X1.
Only X is pointing.
But-
Y and Z, they are pointing to two different objects. Slowly I modified the X also to 50. A new object 50 created with some address. Now X is not pointing to this. Reference count becomes 0. Reference count becomes 0. Now try to say if reference count becomes 0, I said immediately the objects gets removed by the from the memory automatically. So this object is going to get removed from the memory, right? Understood everyone? What is reference count and what is garbage collector? How it removes an object from the memory and how an object reference count becomes 0. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So based on this understanding, right, everyone, go back to this case 4, right? In the case 4, forget about X equal to 20 for some time.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, as the object means is like, are you pointing out to the value or which one? Or X and Y, the variables?
X and Y variables. X means one object gets created. It's going to occupy some physical memory location address. One object gets created, within that it stores the value and it occupies some physical memory location. For Y equal to 20 also one object, it is going to occupy some physical memory location address.
Okay.
So here X equal to, I was asking you a query, what happens to the previous X is 10, X is 20. Print X means always it is printing 20. Is there any possibility of printing 10? What happens to the previous object at 10 means? Yes. Forget about 20, X equal to 10. What is the reference count of this object? How many variables are pointing to this object?
1.
1, right? Only X is pointing. But slowly I modified X equal to 20. Now X is pointing to 20. X is not pointing to this. What is the reference count?
0.
0. Reference count 0 means it is going to get removed, right?
Yeah.
Just now I asked what happens to the previous orbit means it gets removed. So I'll show you all these 4 cases practically now. Whenever we install Python, go to the start programs, all apps, check where you can say, you can search here IDLE within the search, or you can just go to this Python 3.11. You can see IDLE, right? Yes.
Sir, how it will print the content? Like it's pointing to the address.
Yes. X, see, print X means print Y means first it goes to this address. Anytime if you print anything, first it goes to this address and prints whatever present at that address. Prints the content present at that address. See, if you have stored a movie file in a D drive, directly you will go to that location and play it, right? The same way, if you want to print this Z, it goes to that address and prints that address, prints the content at that address, prints 30. So someone asking, right, reference count means if you got one object, X was pointing to this 10, Y is pointing to the 10, Z also pointing to 10. That's why reference count was 3. X was pointing, Y was pointing, Z is pointing to 10. So reference count was 3. But slowly I modified Y to 20 means Y is pointing to the new object. Y is not pointing to this. Reference count became 2.
Just
So,
one question. If we have multiple variables.
one second.
Yeah.
Z equal to 30. Z equal to 30 means a new object got created, means Z won't point to this object 10. Z is pointing to object 30. So reference count became 1. Only X is pointing. And X also modified, and X is made to point to the new object. X is not pointing to this. Reference count became 0. If reference count becomes 0 means object removed by the garbage collector. Yes, some query was asked. Yes.
Yeah, initially X is equal to 10, and it has created one object, right? So value is 10, some address is there. So when Y also assigned to 10, will it first check the value already exists in the memory?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it uses the same,
Yes.
because it doesn't know address, right? First, how it will check
So
whether
X equal to 10, Y equal to 10, Z equal to 10 means, see, whenever you are creating any object, first it checks the memory, any object with value 10 is available.
okay.
If available, it gives the same address to it. I'll show you practically now.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Open this ideally, right? File, new file, you can say yes. Case 1. So this case 1 is what? Defining a variable. Defining a variable X equal to 10. Print X, yes. Type of X means what type it is, and address where exactly it is stored, ID of X. Run module, check this. X is 10, type is what type? Int type. Address means this is the address. Yes. Observe this case 2 now.
If X is assigned different value, it will get different address, right? Now, next.
Yes.
Okay, when we assign Y to a previous value of X, that is 10, do we get the same address of
Yes. Same
X?
address. Yes. Fine. Okay, just I will copy this. File, new file. Case 2. Case 2 is what? X is 10 and Y is 20. Two different variables, two different values. Then two different objects, two different address.
So
Define
can we write like X comma Y equal to 10, 20 like that?
X comma Y equal to
I mean, instead of defining in two different lines, 10 comma 20 like that, can we write in a single line?
try to say X comma Y equal to
X comma Y equals to 10 comma 20.
yes, X takes 10, Y takes 20. Yes, you can define.
Okay.
This is valid syntax.
Okay.
Defining two different variables. Defining two different variables with two different values. See here, okay, you asked a query, right? Yes. Observe interactive mode, you can interact, right? X comma Y equal to 10 comma 20. Yes, no error, right? What is X? 10. What is Y? 20.
Suppose if the value is only 10 for both, in such cases like
What is it?
X and Y both points to 10, 10 in such case.
10 comma 10.
Oh,
X-
here also we need to define two times.
X comma 10, Y also 10.
Only 110 can't we give? X comma Y equal to 10.
X comma Y equal to 10. See error. Error. You need to say 10 comma 10. You have defined X value as 10. Y value is not defined. You didn't define the value for Y. You can say X equal to Y equal to 10. What is X? What is Y? This is valid. But this is not
Okay.
valid.
Got it. Thank you.
This is valid. This is valid. This is not valid. Defining two different variables with two different values, then two different objects, two different objects gets created. Two different objects gets created with two different addresses. X value is 10, Y value is 10. Print X, print type of X, address of X. Print Y, type of Y, address of Y. So address of X and address of Y, is it same or different, everyone? X address
Different.
different, right?
Different, sir.
Different. Way extension. Now you can say run model. Check it. Different values 10 and 20 and different addresses. Check it. Different addresses 10, 20 and different. File, new file. Case 3. Now, sir, just observe this case 3. Case 3 is X value is 10, Y also 10. X value 10, Y also 10. Two different variables with same values. Then only one object gets created. Then only one object gets created. And its address. And its address is returned to both. Just try to say address of X and Y. Will they be same or different? Yes,
Same.
address of X and Y, will they be same or different?
Same, sir.
It has to be same, right? Because the values are same. Only one object, only one address. Run 10, this address, this one more 10, this address. Both addresses are same. Contents are same, types are same, addresses also same. Observe this case 4, right? 5, new 5. Case 4. X is 10 and X is 20. That is what? Defining two variables with same name. Defining two variables with same names. Defining two variables with same name, then. But with different values. Same name X and X, right? But with different values. Then. Only one object gets created. And its address is returned to both. Sorry. Only, okay, sorry. Here defined to the same name, but with different values, right? Then two different objects gets created. Two different objects gets created and the previous one gets removed. Gets removed, right? Yes. And the previous object gets removed. X is 10. Okay. X is 10, X is 20, print X means always it prints 20, type will be integer, address always this. Previous X is going to get removed. Module, right? Yes. What type integer and its address. Okay. Any queries in these 4 cases, right? Everyone understood these 4 cases? Hello? I got a query in case 3. X is 10, Y is 10. The address of X and Y same or different?
Same.
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 Same, right? But if I say 10.0, type of y is what type?
Yeah.
Type of y is what type? Float type.
Float. Float.
Type of x is what type?
Integer.
Integer. Means one integer orbit created, one float orbit created. One integer orbit and one float orbit means two different orbits, right? Means two different addresses, right? Yes. Okay. So, okay.
Sir, if we repeat the same, this in case 4, like what will happen?
What? Okay.
In case 4, x is 10 and x, like, yeah, x is 20.0 something. Yeah.
20, you will
No.
get 20.0. Type is float type, its address will be.
Okay. If you want like 10 also in such case.
Here, if you give 20, you cannot get 10. 10 gets removed. 10 gets removed. There we cannot access 10.
Okay. There is no any other way to stop it, is it?
If you want to access both, then you give x comma y. You give x and this y. Don't give same value. You want to access both. You want to access last year's salary and this salary, current salary, right? You say salary underscore prev, salary underscore current.
It means previous reference count is becoming 0.
So, but
maybe
if
that is
you,
invalid.
if you do both x and x, right? There's no possibility to retrieve this old x value. No. Then in that case, you provide two different variable names, x and y. You can access both x, y. X means 10, y means 20. But if you give same, you cannot access this.
I mean,
It's
we
similar
cannot.
to our previous reference count, which will be removed by garbage collector. Is that the case here as well? Those different data type.
Hmm?
X is equal to 10, then x is equal to 20, right? When we were overwriting it previously, x is equal to 10, not reference.
There is no concept of overwriting here.
Okay, RC reference count is 0. Hence it
It
is
gets removed.
same.
It gets removed and this will be created.
Okay. So whereas in Java, like if you want to like keep alive, like we have finalized method, right? To before destroying an object, it will go and check.
No, what is your
Like that.
query? What is your query, you say?
I mean, is there any other methods like to check before destroying an object? If we want, like we can retrieve it.
Clearly, if you are giving x equal to 10, x equal to 20, there is no possibility of accessing the value from this old object. It clearly gets removed by the garbage collector. There is no possibility. If you want
Okay.
both
In Java,
as
we have finalized method, right? To check.
if you want both, right, it takes to give x is 10, y as 20. Both can be accessed. But if you give x and x, the old x gets removed and new x will be created. X cannot point to two addresses. X cannot point to x can store only one address. Which one? 10 or 20 means 20 only. X can never point to two addresses, right? Yes. X points to this object 20 address only. It stores this 20 address. This gets removed. There is no possibility here. Yes.
Here also the current garbage collector becomes that removed. Right?
So, for example, salary equal to 50,000 and salary equal to 80,000 means always this 80,000 only can be accessed. 50,000 can't be accessed here. It gets removed. But if, for example, there is a situation where you are while calculating tax, while calculating some right, I want to access previous salary and current salary means you need to say salary underscore prev, different name, salary underscore current. Both can be accessed in this case. But if you give both as salary, you cannot access the previous one. It gets removed. Yes. Fine. So these are the 4 cases, right? I just was showing you practically. Now, Now, data types. Data types. Two types. Fundamental data types. Collection data types. Fundamental data types and collection data types. Object of holding single value. What is fundamental data type? Object of holding single value. Example, like x equal to 10. One object created with value 10 with some address. The address given to x. Just now we discussed, right? Here, object holding single value. Object holding multiple values. Object holding single value, object holding multiple values. Example, object holding multiple values, collection, the name itself saying collection of values, group of values, set of values, right? Example, x equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. A list. One object is created, one object in this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some address, the address given to x. Means here object holding group of values. Object holding group of values. Collection type. Fundamental type means object holding single value. Group of values. Okay. Fundamental data type, collection type. Object holding single value, object holding group of values, collection of values, right? Yes. File, new file. If I talk about these fundamental data types, fundamental data types mainly are of 5 types. Int, float, boolean, string, complex. Int means, for example, age 25. Example of float, right? Something like height 6.3, right? Yes, something in this months. Boolean means boolean, boolean, true or false. T should be in uppercase, false, F should be in uppercase. Boolean, right? Yes. True or false returns Boolean value. String, city equal to Hyderabad, right? Yes. Complex, x plus iy, x plus iy, right? Or a plus ib. But in Python, instead for imaginary, instead of 5, we use j, right? Yes. So we'll be discussing about this fundamental types, 5 types, mainly into float, boolean, string, and complex. Collection types. Collection data types, right? Mainly are of 4 types. List, tuple, set, dictionary. List represented, see, it's very simple, right? In Python, representation of these collections. List by using square bracket, tuple like normal braces. Set by using curly braces, right? Yes. So by seeing these braces, we can identify what type of collection it is. Dictionary is something in the form of key and value format, right? Key and value. Yes. Example of this. X equal to list of tuple, y equal to tuple of values. Set of 10, 20, 30, right? Yes. Set of, see that square bracket means list, normal braces, tuple, curly braces, set. And dictionary means something in the form of key and value. For example, name, Ajay. Age, 25. Okay.
So your list and tuple can hold, looks like the same only, right? Like the same values storing.
What is that? List and tuple. Okay. If the difference is 1 second. List and tuple, the difference, right? So for example, X is a list 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We have got a lot of discussion on this list tuple sets. More than 1 week we'll be discussing, right? List indexing, list slicing, list properties, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, list modifications, right? So yes, for a list, you can modify. So for example, X of 1 means 20. I can modify it 25. Now again, if you say 20 got modified to 25, right? I want to add a new element. Yes, I can do it. Append 60. This also I can do. I can add a new element. Now check it. 60 got added, right? I can remove an element 30. X dot remove. X dot remove 30. 30 gets removed, right? Yes. 30 gets removed. Yes, you can add an element, you can remove an element, you can modify an element. But these 3 things you cannot do in tuple. You cannot add a new element into a tuple. You cannot remove an element from a tuple. You cannot modify a tuple, right? Means just like a constant, if it's X equal a tuple, if you're defining, it is like a constant. Only you can read the data. Understood, right? List modifications allowed, inserting allowed, removing. Insertions, subdeletions, deletions allowed in a list. In tuple, all these are not allowed. So we've got a lot of discussions on these collections. We'll be discussing in brief, right? And tomorrow we'll be discussing mostly on this fundamental type. In that, lot of discussion on string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special character stuff. We'll be discussing more on string. Fine. You have seen that course content, right? So I'll be discussing many models related to different domains, some models related to databases, some models related to data science, some related to graphics, some related to operating system, some related to date and time, some related to regular expressions, So in this way, different types of modules I'll be covering as part of this, like modular programming, and also how to create our own module. Start basic Python, advanced Python, and application-oriented modules. So nearly 70 hours we'll be spending only for Python. In brief, in depth, right? You will be getting great command on it. 2 months it takes. And apart from these people who go for full stack, right? Apart from this Python core, advanced, and application-oriented modules, I'll be going with the Django framework and web development technologies, right? Like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript will be discussed in brief. And in Django, like 50 to nearly 20 applications I'll be showing you, right? I'll make you develop 20 applications, right? And one project will be discussed, right? Totally. And for full stack, the course fee is 10,000, and for Python, it's only 5,000, right? You can see the things in the chart. There is a big message given. And the demo videos link, can you see here? The demo videos link, the link is given here. You can see the chart, right? The course content is given and the demo video link is given. You can just go through and you can compare the course content with any other training site. We'll be discussing in brief. It will be very huge, right? So yeah, you'll be getting notes, right? Tomorrow we'll be discussing that, but from day after tomorrow, the link is going to change. Tomorrow you can attend the session same time using the same link, right? But day after tomorrow, the link will be changing. Those who got enrolled, you will be getting the link to your mail IDs. And don't forget to share if you're done with the payment, right? Don't forget to share the screenshot of it to DURGASOFT online training. Then only you'll be getting the paid link, right? Yes. Everything you can see in that, right? You can see the contact details of this online team. Yes. And I said you will be getting the from day after tomorrow onwards, right? Once that link is changed, daily you'll be getting a video to your Google Drive. Notes you will be getting to your Gmail, right? Assignments also will be getting to your mail IDs. And soft copy of the notes, classroom notes, a video, assignment tasks, and a WhatsApp. Day after tomorrow, a WhatsApp group is going to get created for technical discussions, right? Yes. Fine. So any queries as part of today's session, like we discussed how exactly a variable is stored, how to print its value, how to print its address, and how to print its type, right? Showed you practically, right? Tomorrow more discussions on this, mostly on strings. Yes.
Sir,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not able to get that run option on my laptop. Like the thing what you're getting after run, what you're doing, the file edit shell one, I'm getting that one. I'm not able to get that run option.
You can see file, right?
Ah, yes, sir.
File, new file, you say. File, new file, you say. Now you got
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay, sir.
file, new file. There you can type
Sir,
your code.
should we save the thing or is it not really necessary to save all the files?
Compulsory, you need to save it. Without saving, you cannot execute first.
Okay.
So
After
you need to type it.
Hmm.
Control S you can say to save. Otherwise, save also file save is available. Control S you can say
Hmm.
and execute the code. Run module, right? That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So if I'm done with your queries, right? Yes. I'll sign off for now. Yes.
Okay.
And 1 second, in Django, I said, right, I'll be making you to do nearly 15 to 20 more than folders, right? Ongoing Django applications creations, Django apps one series, my project 1, my project 2, 3, more than 20, right? Any batch if you take, it will be like more than Django apps applications creations, my project 1, 2, 3. I'll make you do more than nearly 20 applications in the Django framework, right? In full stack. Yes, yeah, some query was asked. Yeah.
Core and advanced Python plus Django కలిపి ఎంత ఉంటుంది సార్ ఫీజ్ అంటే
10,000.
అన్ని టెక్నాలజీ
10,000. Actually, it is 12. Where discount of 2,000 is applied, right? If you go with both. If you take separate,
All-
like 5,000 for Python, 7,000 for Django, these things, right? Separately if you take, but now at a time, total full stack, if you take the entire thing, it's 10K.
సో అదే యూఐ టెక్నాలజీస్ ఆల్రెడీ శ్వేత మేడం దగ్గర నేర్చుకుంటున్నాం సార్.
Hmm.
అంటే అవి కాకుండా ఈ రెండింటికి separate గా ఫీజు ఉంటుందా సార్?
Okay, whatever it is, right? For full stack, it is 10, and for Python, it is fine. You can just talk with the numbers are given, right? So you talk with the front office, right? For any other things. For
ఓకే
the
సార్,
fees
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
related, for fees related things, you can just contact the numbers given, right? Yes. Fine. Okay. So if I'm done with the queries, right, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 8 o'clock with the same link, right, to see more on this, right? Okay. So thank you for your time. We'll meet tomorrow, same time.